Hi, it's Elaine with MCPS Technology. Today we're venturing into Google Classroom as instructors to create our own classrooms. Now, if you recall, there's plenty of ways to get to Google Classroom, but one of the easiest is from your email. So in your email account, go to the Google Apps Launcher and click on Classroom. Alternatively, if you're on your Chromebook, you can go to the shelf and click on Google Classroom at the bottom of your screen. Once you've clicked on Classroom, it will bring you into the main menu. We talked about that before when we were in as students, but just as a reminder, the main menu is where you see every class that you're either a teacher or a student. Now, just as a reminder, as you're watching this video, feel free to pause it at any time and practice your work and then come back. That will help you get the most out of it. So if we're ready to create our own classroom, once we're in the main menu, we can simply go to the plus sign, and instead of clicking Join Class when we're students, we click Create Class. Right away, Google will ask you to give your new class a name. In my old career, I might have called this something like English 10. Under Section, I might put something like Second Block. And subject, well, since the title makes the subject clear, I might just put my room number. The second two lines are optional, so if you don't need the information, you don't have to include it. Then simply click the Create button. In a very short time, Google will create a brand new classroom for you. And as you can see, it will assign you a theme. I'm guessing it's based on the title because as an English class, I'm getting some books in my theme, so that makes sense. But if I don't like that theme, it's very easy to click on Select Theme and just choose another theme. So just to show you how easy that is, I'm going to randomly just choose a theme. I like the spider. And notice how quickly that comes up. I can even upload my own picture if I want to, if I don't like any of the themes. So we looked at this as a student before, but it looks different, obviously, when you're a teacher. So let's take a few minutes to just familiarize you with what you see when you create a course and begin working inside it. It makes sense to start with the About page, so let's go there. As we talked about before, the About area is where a teacher can post materials and information for the student. So notice that Google has automatically placed the title here. You can also put a class description, and when the class meets, those are optional. And you can add class materials. We're coming back to that in just a moment, but let's look to the left to see what else is here. Anytime a classroom is created, Google also creates a Drive folder that houses the information associated with the classroom itself. The students also have a class Drive folder, but they're not the same. So don't worry, students don't have access into your folder. This one lives in your Google Drive, and whenever you create an assignment, it will automatically go there to that folder. You don't have to do anything to make that happen, and that's one of the greatest things about Google Classroom. Notice you also have a classroom calendar and a Google Calendar. So whenever you create an assignment that has a due date attached to it, it will be reflected in those calendars. We will have a separate video that talks specifically about calendars, but let's check out what else is here. I can invite other teachers. Notice it shows me as the teacher. If I want, I can co-teach by inviting other teachers. So if I click here, I could start typing the email of one of my colleagues, and then the email would come up and I could simply click invite if I wanted to do that. I could also remove that teacher at any time. Let's go back to adding materials. So let's suppose, look at my options here. Let's suppose I want to upload my course overview. And now I could do this with a syllabus or a set of class rules or any kind of link that my students might need to have access to throughout the course. I have some choices here. I have 4 icons. I can go get something that lives on my computer, a file. My favorite is being able to go straight to my Google Drive and to retrieve a document that I've created. Classroom is set up to work beautifully with Drive in that way. So in my recent files, here's my course overview. So I'm just going to double click that and I'm going to add that. Then I click post, and notice my students will have access now to this document throughout the course or until I remove it. And removing it is very easy as well. Let's say I realize I put up the wrong document. I can simply click on these three dots and I can edit or delete. In Google, three dots always means more. So that's the About page. Let's go now to Students. This is the area where I can really control everything that students can do, and it's also where I can invite students and that sort of thing. Notice I have a class code. There's a couple of ways to invite students. It automatically assigns a course code, and if I click this down arrow, I can display the code in large letters if let's say I'm showing that in class so that my students can simply type it in. Or notice that I can also copy it, I can reset it or disable the code. Once I've invited all my students, I don't have a need for that code to be out there anymore. I can also invite students by clicking this button, and then if I begin typing in a student's email, I'm just going to type in Ted Ebears. He's a CHS student, and then I can click invite and invite him. But clearly, if you have a large number of students, the easiest way is to just share your class code with them. Other things that you can do here is to include the class in Guardian and email summaries, which I would encourage you to do. And that way you can set it up to where parents can get an email summary for their students. We're going to have a separate video for that because it's a super important piece and I don't want this video to get too long. So be looking out for that. The other thing that's really important that I can do from this page is that I can control what students can do in the interface. By default, students can post and comment in our classroom. If I click this down arrow, I could actually make it to where students can only comment but not post, or where I can only post and comment. However, since Google Classroom is a social type network and is designed that way, I would discourage you from limiting your students unless they show you they truly cannot handle having those rights. It's good to know also that you can limit students by student. So let's say Ted Ebert is posting inappropriate things in our Google Classroom. Once he's joined, he's only invited right now, so he's kind of grayed out, but once he's joined, I can click by his name, and under this action, I can not only email him, but I can remove him. That seems a little extreme, but there will also be an option to mute him until he learns how to behave. So you do have that option as well. That's the students page. You can also email guardians, and we're going to come back to that. So I won't get into that right now. Let's go to the stream. And as I said in my last video, the stream is really where the action happens in Google Classroom. So today, there's lots to learn, and we're going to have detailed videos about all the steps. But today, I just want you to know how to post an announcement. And the way we do that is by going down to the plus sign at the bottom right. This is really where all actions happen in the stream. And you'll notice that the very first choice is create announcement. So let's click there. And it's easy to create an announcement. I'm just going to type something really short, like hi and welcome. And notice my options here. I can give this a topic if I want to sort of group all my things in under one topic. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. Notice I also have, again, my icons. If I need to post a document with this announcement, something from my drive, I can actually go to YouTube and search for videos, or I can place in the URL if I already know it and place a video right into this interface, or I can also post a link. The other thing that I just love is that I also have the option, if I teach more than one class, I can click this down arrow and I can actually post this announcement to more than one class at a time, which is going to save me time, and who couldn't use some more of that, right? I can also give both announcements and assignments to individual students. Once I have students who join, then I could actually pick just some students to receive this. When I'm ready, I can just click post, and then my announcement will appear in the stream, and it will also go by email to anyone who is a member of the class. That's announcements. Just a couple more things in this video, and then you're going to be off and running to create your own class. So as I said last time, whenever you're in Classroom, the main menu is always at the top left. So let's just go there for a moment and look where it says classes. So these are all the classes that I belong to. I can move them around if I want, if I don't like where they appear. I can also, from these three dots, I can also archive a class if I don't want it anymore, or let's say it's the end of a semester and I just don't need it to be cluttering up my space. I can actually archive the class, and then it'll still be there for me if I need it, but it won't be in my way. And one last thing I want to show you in the stream, it's always there for you, is this question mark at the bottom left. If you click on it, you have some choices. You can see what's new in Google Classroom, and that comes up in a brand new page. Going back there, you can send feedback, and the Google people really do listen, because this is how we got the Guardian piece. You can ask a question, and you can also go to Google Help. Those are always there for you no matter what page you're on in Google Classroom. That's the overview for a teacher. I'm sending you off now to create your own classroom, and I think you're going to have a great time doing that.